Okay, I think we are ready to start. Let me know if you can hear me very well. And yeah, I will be covering about rig. If you have missed previous stream about rigging it. So what we have basically is two I keys, reversed foot that helps us to move the feet, and yeah, the rotate. This target is inside this bone, and this leg works similarly. We have skirt that have rotation in disabled, so whenever we rotate them, they are just hanging. Same way we'll do the purse and shoulder, this one. The other one is under I key, which means we don't need disable inheritance. We have tail that is straightened up and rigged. We have the wing that is not perfect, but it's able to open up, and yeah, it is functional. So this is how it works right now. No I keys. I don't like complicating stuff too much right now. Previously I was very good at adding a lot of rigging elements, but with time we understand that better to concentrate on animation rather than rigging. I mean, rig should be very flexible, but to the purpose, so you can animate easily and not to showcase your rigging skills. We have two bones for chest, simple. We have disabled the head. We have eye here that is able to blink if we scale it all the way down. We have crystals here. I'm going to add a few more elements to the rig at the end of the animation if we have still time. I want to work on VFX of the stuff, and this blue portion of the stuff will be highlighting and just glowing up. And yeah, maybe crystals too, fire also. So what else we have? So this rig is not perfect. I mean, it's not super detailed. We don't have face rig. We have simple shoulders. We have issues also here. If we want to make him fly or float on the ground, these I keys cannot be turned off. If you try to turn them off, legs will break because these feet are not inside this bone, so it's not possible to make it float and turn off the I key. This character should always be on the ground, and when it jumps or flies, these feet should be animated, always these ones. So I key cannot be turned off. And same would go for this. If you see you want to turn it off, the hand will remain here. So this is how I work. I don't need turning it off, but if I need it, I would go differently. So it is the downside of the way of we rig this way. So I don't have the other wing, but if I need, I will just duplicate this rig, so the animation also will come with it. And what else? Yeah, I think we are ready to start. I will be starting from walk. We'll be animating the hip and legs, and from that we will go the rest of the body. I want to finish the whole walk, and I maybe skip the idle portion and make the VFX of the stuff and the fire instead. So this stream might go around 1 and 2 hours, 1 or 2. So let's start right now. So first of all, you want to start the walk by pausing the character. I mean, it's not being paused as in idle. So in idle it stands, it is balanced, but if it goes forward, it should be a little bit rotated at that way. And same goes for the run. If it runs, you need to first figure out the pose for it and then start to animate. Okay, now we need to, I am normally animating in between 40 frames, and then I can just expand it up to 50 or 60 or maybe shorter span. But I work with 40 frames. I already know the scale, I mean timing of the up and down. So I can start from here, go down twice. It should go down twice, go up and down. Let's smooth it. I'm using 4.1. It's already stable, as many of you already know. I will be using preview. So for idle and walk, I normally use this where I can see the current loop, and whatever modification I do, I can see right away. This is mainly helpful for offsetting things. Let's move it down. It goes too much up, and let's adjust everything down. I don't want this leg to stretch. You can see that this has a little bit different pose. It will create problems with walking, so I will start from that. If we have problems, I will maybe go with this leg and then duplicate it. But I want to start with this one. As I can see, it's not that problematic. Maybe this front part, the claw would be not looking good. But let's see. So whenever he goes up and down, let's also make an up and down for chest and waist. I'm moving down and rotating to that direction, and again we need same 2 times up and down. Let's disable adjust, and okay, we need to offset it. It is exaggerated. Yeah, I'm used to animate this way. So yeah, you should do it your way. Obviously, I'm not looking into stylish walking, showing you how you can animate different types of walk, but rather than standard one, and I will be exaggerating it so you can see how it looks. Okay, now we have up and down for these main bones. Forehead, I will do it at the end. No need to do it now. We can also add rotation for this bone. Let's rotate it when it goes down and rotate back when it goes up. Let's check it. Now I'm going to offset. Rotation, 2 frames. And also offset here, 2 frames, but also with the translate key, they also go 2 frames. So same would go here, 4 frames here, and 2 more for rotation. So we have this bouncy movement. This is again exaggerated, but you get the idea. You can lower it as much as you want. Let's do the head also. You can see I also don't have neck bones. Similar characters are mostly be visible small on the screen, or not that big. But if you are working with main characters, you should take care of all these details. Specifically neck, etc. So it's not that complex trick. So, but it will be enough to do great animation. I'm looking at the preview view to find again, it's super exaggerated. Let's leave it like this. I want to achieve exaggerated version. Okay, now that I know up and down should go, up position should go at 15 frames. It's something that I work normally, so I know that I should adjust wherever it goes, the maximum up, it should be on 15 frames. So I select everything and just move it back 5 frames. Now I'm ready to work with feet. Let's start from this one. This will be the problematic one. with this timing, I know that at 0 frame, it should be maximum position of this frontal. I'm not looking at this bone right now. We'll be fixing it very soon. So maximum here at 20 frames, maximum back. It's not maximum, but I will show you in a few moments. And let's move it back. Let's ease the moment where it goes to land the feet again. Since on the ground, it will be moving constantly. It's something that I am talking many times on YouTube's videos. So when it moves on the ground in the game, it moves constantly. So you have to take care of feet moving equal amount of distance and constantly. They can't start with easing and end with easing, and they can cover different distance each feet. So this is very important. The speed can be adjusted in the game, but that speed is constant. So the feet should not be different, traveling different distance and traveling with easing. That will create sliding. Okay, so that's what the reason I'm making it linear here. Okay, it's looking great right now. After 20 frames, I normally do raising the feet, so foot. It's still on the ground. For this particular foot, it's not that visible, but from 20 to 25, it will continue moving back, but trying to raise the feet. It's like a humanoid character would go on the tip of the foot. And then it just comes front. Now let's delay it a little bit. Too much raising. Great. So we have different foot, and we need to make it land on it or smoothly. It pushes it down and then goes up. When it pushes it down, it should start from fast speed, so accelerating and then decelerating here, and then we can go with easing. We have some issues here, but this is a bug. It will be fixed in a moment. Let me see the other. Okay. I don't want to go too much details here. I have a lot of to cover in this video. I will come back to this movement after I do this, so you can see it's really weird. Let's scale it down a little bit, like it's closing the fingers, and now it puts back, moves that way, and then collapses back. It's not looking good, but you can always go and duplicate the first foot. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Maybe this moment is not good, so it's breaking too much. Yeah, I will leave it like this, definitely. Let's do this foot. We can also work with the scale here, so we can just scale it down, showing that it really pushes here, but it's not necessary. Maybe we don't need that. I mean, scaling will show some perspective here, and that's good to see. And if it works easily, we can leave it. If it creates problems, We have some lagging here, you know. Here. I don't know if I should go and fix it right now, because I clearly don't know how to fix it. I can maybe work with frames. But yeah, it fixed. This is something that sometimes I just go and fix manually by frames. It doesn't happen all the time, so let's do the other leg. I'm looking to see if the feet cover the same distance. So this one, I will be counting the boxes, these boxes. This one lands here. Let's assume 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they pretty much cover the same distance. It doesn't need to be precise. So you can see if you think, hey, it's still bent, let's move it a little bit forward. It might be looking nice, but at the end, this foot will travel longer distance, so it will be sliding in the game. I will need to separate the axis for translation and see if this X, it needs to be linear, and it needs to be, those two lines should be parallel so they continue each other. Or you can just see the continuation here. So this means that we have 20 frames, and as with the other leg, we continue that. We can also see it here, but I forgot to break this. And maybe remove this actually. So it actually travels 25 frames, and from 20 to 25, it raises its foot, I mean this portion. And now we have 20 frames here, and the other 5 frames would go this. So it continues, but this moment it goes up, so it actually rises on the tips. And this is where it goes back. I will be scaling it down again. And here just making it bigger. Yeah, I think it travels diagonally. Let's see what's the problem. Let's see the y-axis. You should avoid any diagonal trajectories for foot feet. I think I will leave it this way for now. I really want to cover everything here. If you don't like some part of it, let me know. Maybe I can go and fix it now. It's really important to show you guys how to save your time on the big picture. And yeah, let's continue with the tail. So I'm trying to make it 3D-like, but I already know that it will be a little bit flat. It's not going to be super 3D because I really don't want to spend too much time on rigging it in a 3D way. So instead, I will just make it nice, but it will be flat. So don't expect super 3D. I'm animating all the timelines here, so I can fix them here right now. And I already know that if it goes there, like back farther from us, then the tail will just go inside, collapse inside. And you can note that I am also moving it up, each of them. And yeah, let's concentrate on translation. Now it has to go this towards us. So at the top position, it will be here. So it's collapsed again, but it will be down towards us. So this is great, but we need it also to be straightened up. Let me also move this and this. So at 10 frame, we need it's super straight, so we need it as original this way. I guess it should work. If it doesn't, I think I can find. So it might look weird to you right now, but I can see where we are going. Let's add a scale timeline. For that, I know that this is the way that it scales down. So we see less and less, smaller and smaller at the tip will be the smallest. So let's continue by scaling it down. I am deselecting the root bones, so I scale more and more the tip. I have selection under keyboard. I'm pressing 1 to regain that selection. Hello guys, I'm checking the chat. Hi everyone, happy to see you all here. Stream will be saved as a separate video, so I will be deleting it right after and releasing a new video which is edited. Now this scale is different timing, so it's not going 2 times, so it will go smaller back then and bigger towards us. Let's now make it bigger. We use the same approach by deselecting each root bone. It's not that important to do this, you can just scale it up. I know just this works for me. So you can see on the preview window, we already have something. At least you can understand what I say when I say it goes towards and away from us. Let's go with rotation. Now it goes there, we do the rotation, and again we can go and rotate more and more with each next bone. Oops. Cool. And here I'm hitting Ctrl+Shift+J to set the keys as in setup mode. So this is the very similar key that you would hit Ctrl+Shift+L, but L just sets the keys as it was already has a position. So with Ctrl+Shift+J, I'm setting the original setup pose, rotations and keys. In this situation, it will be rotation only. Okay, now let's do the opposite. I have done a lot of tails similar to this, and most of the time they end up being a little bit different. So it's not like there is a clear equation of animating it a system, or I mean there would be, but most of the time tails come different length, different shape, and yeah, pretty much they can be animated like this. But sometimes I go with scale, sometimes I don't. Let's now do the shearing. This is totally optional. It already can work like what we have right now. But with shearing we can add new dimension. Oops. Great, we have the tail, and now we need the important stuff. So I'm not going to tell you how important is offsetting your animation, parts of your animation, but instead just do it. Maybe 3 frames. Yeah, maybe. It should already be looking nice. I'm not yet checking the preview. Yeah, and as I expected, it is flat. It is super flat. Maybe too much of that effect. Let's also offset the timelines. For that, I will filter, translate, and move it back. Maybe 4 frames. Filter, scale, move it even further. So it will go 9 frames. And shearing would go even further, 15 frames. Great. It's super flat. We can do quick fix of that flatness by just giving a little bit weight value to all of them. just this value. It won't be super perfect, but it will give us a little bit better result. Or it won't. No, sorry, I should have done it only to the edge. So that means that I'm reducing the weights of the edges so they don't go too much as the middle portion. This will work, of course, if you have the middle portion. Yeah, I can see it working a little bit. Yeah, I can leave it this way. You can see that this portion comes a little bit. Here you can see we have pretty looking like tail, but it won't be perfect. So, but I'm not spending time. I want you to concentrate how fast we are going. We already covered the main important and heavy stuff, and we are still, I don't know, 20 or 15 minutes. And with this approach, you can just cover this walk and go forward with the more important animations, like attack or casting spell, and make it much better. Let's also move the stuff. So what I do with stuff, I put it on the ground after this foot is there. Let's see if that will work in this situation. And we'll move it back. And let's put it back. The moment it contacts the ground, y-axis is stopping abruptly here. Not soft, but abruptly. And let's offset it. So foot contacts and then the stuff. And we can see we have interesting jumping arm, which would be expected. Do we need that? Can we fix that? Let me think. So I can go and scale it, this one, and achieve that, fix it. But this is important to understand that with stretch, that scaling might break at some engines. So when you enable stretch, be careful with that. Let me see if I can show it how it breaks here. So you can see now it's technically broken. It doesn't show here to the target. And in game engine, it can be even worse. So be careful with that. Right now, I can go or move this or rotate this to try to avoid it. But I know whatever I do, it will be much easier if I work with that scale and fix that scale. Where is our arm? No, I think we need to change the direction. Maybe, yeah. I just don't want to spend too much time here. Let's see if I can find some easy fix. No, I think it won't be easy. So maybe let's try to change direction. Just to see. Maybe this is the easiest way to do, to just change the position. Or we could just go and disable the mix and animate it by ourselves. So this is something that I do very rarely, but this is also a solution. So which means that you have to do it frame by frame, and there will be some jumping. I'm actually happy that we have problems here, because this is when I can teach more. When I fail myself and find solution. So this would be the other way. Of course, it's not perfect again. But if you want to match the initial poses, where it holds it, you can go with this way. I think I will leave it this way for now. There is no easy way to fix it. You should consider it on the rigging level. Maybe you have to change the initial pose and make it this way. The opposite way, I think you get. Anyway, let's move forward. Let's move forward. Next important thing, let me quickly do this arm also. Yeah, maybe double mount would be better. So, for this cloth, you can see that with this one, I did a simple double phase loop because I see that it moves very simple, like left and right, left and right. This one is not that simple, so I can see that it stops here, and the cloth should represent that. I mean, it should be natural. So that's why I made it, I animated it looking on that elbow. So it drags here and stops, so cloth is actually a little bit waving here and then drags back. So if you see that some portion is not systematic, is not logical, like repeating with loop, you need to make sure you animate it correspondingly, how it moves and cloth would be dragging. Okay, now the other important and interesting part would be those cloths. Let's start from this. And I will be doing all of them, so you can see that it's really super easy to do cloth animation, especially for loops. When you are working with all of the timelines, don't be constrained to only one timeline like rotation. And what I want you to understand that my goal here is to make it fast and quality animation. So I am not concentrating on making only quality animations. Otherwise, it would take me forever and it's not good. I need to take more and more projects, and that can be interesting and I can learn from. Okay. I'm not looking at what state it should be. I'm going to offset it using preview. So just moving it, rotating that way, and at 10, rotating and moving that way, and scaling down, so while scaling up only one axis to make it wider, and maybe with shearing a little bit. Same would go here. Let's duplicate the loop, and we have simple one. Let me actually scale it even more. Great, now let's offset it. 5 frames, and also offset one edge. It already looks smooth and nice. Now we need to match it to the... Let's actually offset the other timelines. So first would be translation, it goes back. Then would be the scale, it goes 4 frames. And shearing would go 6 frames. This is the way I normally do it. It's not like have to be done this way. You can offset it differently as long as it looks nice to you. And now I have to just match it to the motion. It works. It works nice. So if you have this foot touching it, then you should make some custom movements. Like at this portion, when it touches it, maybe you have to go and key everything and go frame by frame by moving it as foot touches it. And then just release it. This might be easy if you go with ghosting tool. Let me select and let's assume foot really touches it. Yeah, something along this. Hi everyone. Hello. I'm looking at the chat right now. If you have questions, let me know. And let's next to this. Again, I will key everything. Control-Shift-J to reset it to setup pose. And do the same, but this side. Cool. Offsetting this and this. Now I will offset this 3 frames. Scale would go 6 frames. And shear would go 9 frames. You can see how soft it is, but it has issue when the knee hits it. So you have to take care of that as we did with the other one. Let's me actually match it. I think it works nice. I will try to match the knee. So now let's assume it hits. I am setting the key for rotation and translate. And let's try to also fix that. Let's now work with scale. It actually turns the cloth that way and then turns back. Things happen very quickly here, but we can actually fix that by expanding, I guess. I'm breaking things here, curves, since there are too many keys. And let's do the final adjustments. And that would be it. So again, I want you to concentrate on the speed you work. You don't need to create extra super rigs for such things, because yeah, I mean, maybe it's different for you. For me, it's better to make it easy rig and then animate it frame by frame when it needs to be. And let's finally do this portion. Something like this. Okay, we have not rigged this part, I see. Maybe we can do very easy rig, just adding a bone for it here and disabling its rotation. Finally, let's bind it. And now at least it is sitting on the hip. And with yeah, I think I like it. Great, so we have bottom section covered, we do have arms, we do have stuff, we do have, yeah, we have pretty much everything. Let's do the wing. And I think we have time for VFX right now. I am not going to do idle. If you want to see it idle, let me know in the comments. But I'm going to animate the VFX of the stuff and fire. Again, my goal is to do it quick and with quality. They both should be balanced. I'm not going to concentrate this for this character. I mean, if there is different character that are like main character, like for tutorial that comes up and it's a guide character that always shows there and emotions, everything. So it has to be super nice. So if you have played like Homescapes, there is that guide, that bold guide that comes every time. And so this character should be done everything super detailed and animated long hours, but not this one. Okay. I'm not opening too much. I don't want to confuse it with flying. But I also want to show that the wing we have, they are actually opening and closing. And still don't know if I'm going to do it one cycle or double cycle. Yeah, I think double cycle. No, it's too much, opening too much. It looks like it's flying. We don't need that much attention from the wing. Yeah, this is much more. Let's try double cycle. Too much aggression. Maybe we can do double cycle only for this joint, because the wings are heavy and they have to just feel that gravity. Let's do those complementary fingers. Not too much important. Let's just animate them. For those who are new here, we had problem with the IK of the arm, so we had to turn it off and just animate it manually here. This was the fastest and produces the best results. And we have also this. I mean, this is already not important stuff. Let me do quickly. I don't want to spend time. Yeah, this would be enough. So I'm not copying the wing yet. Maybe I will do it in the future or in the next animations or at the end of the project. No need to rush. I want to make the contact a little bit better so the fingers don't go underground. Great, so what I want to do with this stuff, first of all, we need to animate the fire, which I will be using one little VFX fire sequence, and then combining it and merging so I can change the color, I can change the size, I can add the wind effect. etc. And I want to make the stuff a little bit richer. So right now it's dim and not interesting. For that, I have those blue stuff things. They look transparent, but maybe it's because of spine background. It's gray. So for that, I will go to images, take this file. I'm going to create a layer. I don't want to use masks, especially for this project, but instead I will separate this. So what I do, I need the opposite. Yeah, I need this. Will be sitting over the normal stuff. So for that, I will have to duplicate and save it as a separate image. I will duplicate the slot and call it over. We have it. Now I will need to bring on one VFX, which is, where is it? Which is this one. And where we were at. Here is it. Great. I've done VFX a lot, so I am not going to go into super details here, but I will try to explain it. So we need it as mesh. I'm going to put this one and maybe two of them here and then here. So they will be adding the glare effect over only blue stuff. For that, let's edit mesh, generate some vertices until we get these ones. We don't need them, so let's Control C. Luckily, the VFX is blue, so it's great. Let's hide the bonds and put it here. I want to make the right ordering, so that would be this stuff, and we have this one. So this goes sandwiched in between, so you can see that how it will be working. Now let's just try to match it. Let's scale it actually. So we can use two of them. Let's see, 1 and 2. Yeah, that would be great. Since we will be using linked mesh, we won't be exceeding the vertex number. So to use the linked mesh, we need to select the mesh and create linked. It will create another mesh that clearly copies everything from this one, like transform, structure, etc. So if we modify this one, it will be modified for all of them. This is very helpful with skins and for VFX, I guess. Now let's duplicate it a bunch of times. I think 17, the sequence was 17, yeah. We don't need this extra frames. Let's select them and clear image path. Right now they will use the path from the image name, which right now corresponds to the file name. You can see the 1, 2, 3, 4, and they are in FX, glare, and numbers indexes. Great. Let's now duplicate this. Well, actually, let's animate it. Let's hide it here. And on contact, I will just start that glare animation. Contact. Yeah, let's make it additive and maybe add a little bit blue. Yeah. Next, I did it before duplicating, since right now I will have keys already there. Let's flip it. Why not? Let's flip it so we have a little bit variety. And here we need and the moment the first one ends, we need to start the second one. Now you can see it happening actually. It's maybe too sharp, but you get the idea. So you can create your own sequence or modify the color. Maybe you want a little bit transparent. Or blue. Anything you want. You got the idea. And for the fire, I will use what I should use. Let's see, where do I have it? Exactly here. I think I will use this one for fire. Keep all the VFX stuff in separate folders. That will help you right away to see the slots. Like for example, here I can clearly see that everything that starts with VFX is VFX, so it helps a lot. A similar approach would be with fire. I'm taking one fire sequence, which is not exactly the same as tile, but I will fix it. And then let's add a mesh. Let's generate few vertices here. And I'm moving it here just for reference for the style that I will be using very soon. And let's move it inside this bone. Yeah. And now maybe add a few frames, maybe a few bones. 2 of them would be pretty much enough. Yeah, that's good. Let's go and fix the fire texture. What I don't like is that red portion of that fire. You can see in original we have it pretty much yellow and orange. So let's get rid of that red. For that I will open a hue saturation window with Ctrl U. Select this handler and pick the color or just drag it here. Yeah, pretty much what I look for. Let's hit OK, save, and do it for the same. I'm hitting, holding Control when holding Alt when opening this window. That will bring up the same settings, same previous settings. You can go and create an action for this. I'm very lazy for that right now. Yeah, we are there. We have a yellow fire. It has a little bit glow, which is cool. Let's try it with additive. Too much. I don't know, maybe I will leave it this way. And for animating it, obviously we need a sequence. For that, let's create linked mesh, duplicate it a bunch of times. 17 or what? 25. Clear the path so it takes from the names. And let's animate it. We are actually using this new version, which has that sequence. Let's try it. I'm not using it too much, but let's try it now. Mark it as sequence. We need to remove the index and put it here, 1 to 25. And image path. Yeah, and that works. I should be, yeah, I can now do it. Cool. It's a little bit slow. Let's see if we can fix the sequence, frame per second. Now it looks great. And what else? We can animate this and using translate and rotation. I'm using 4.1, the latest stable version. And we have fire. So right now we need to import another sequence that would be the core, but I'm not going to do it. We can just add a bunch of these fires and yeah, maybe that would create that core effect. Let's try to do it now. And maybe one of them can go additive. And let's change the starting frame for that. I can go and change it here, but I have no idea how to do it right now. It should be able to change it initially here. If any of you knows, let me know. But clearly I don't know how to do it right now. Hey, now I can. Yeah, now I can do it. So this one would go from 6th frame. I'm giving some offset. And yeah, with this way you can add few of them over it, and I think you can achieve some kind of that fire effect. We still miss something in the middle. But you get the idea, so I don't want to take too much time. I mean, it's a matter of adding sequence here. You get the idea, so with a little VFX and linked mesh, you can do that. And once you have them, you can reuse them everywhere you want. So for example, this glare, I can go and use them here in the crystals. Let's reset it. And add it into the crystals. This is mainly the approach I do with VFX. I pick one that I am going to reuse most of the time and then just reuse it. And stream, I guess, is ending very soon. So I will be closing it after I'm finished with this crystal. So if you have any questions, let me know. Here is it. Boom. It's too much. Yeah, that might work. And what else we can do here? So if you don't like the food, feel free to